my friend now, the family, you get them. Ohanya, you go.
Jimra.
You one.
Oi.
But what do you want to live in? She tackle from a lady. Which a midi, Uclean poor, let you continue. Ahoy, now your bubble, me. War, okay, so what is can claim. Wapa, when you manche, Nila Yodia Sampa, you get them. Yakuna manche. Fine, Kuni, Equal Jolly, or program.
Draw much wonder was she living ake o pidgin e ha won wa kan si en what is she ncho wo ko you adon ncho wonder was she mu ye won na bo awon na ake wi mo ni won ma wa wi ne ncho won pa wa gbla ni bi ya mi botron man bi na menush ncho won pa fai no gbele mo fia mo dwemo vieux mon eau a eu na bouteille il y a du mon papa et ne au bio les bine question bien ce que ça
Amen.
Amen.
Tra manyaba.
Yeah.
Ogben afi eko me.
Yeah.
Tra manyaba.
Yeah.
Yime trashinyani.
Yo. Be kanklen wampe media men allo fonisha lo ka wole kolo fe ke banake woni fi wona chi mena de bine wo ha kada go fe o manje no ha me fe afi ake afi aya ni bani na o fe mo kaji abi wo shin ake wo ye fe mena ogbe e wo chencho ejidi bi kuku ko pe no to wi ke ha na gbai ni etese no mama ni mene o to ha tete ke ma fe anale woni no mama e shika mo yo ha ave ochi alochi no bine me nai alo me nu e mama ke hinti ti go etese no mama ni ke hinti ne me no shishi me ni no shishi na hun amewie doni amele she want to offer the farm, but we are going to set the record straight. Ni the fair anale. Okay, really no. Eje musunogo. Alogo ni afa oboda. Ni no be foni want to wodi koni me ana. Aka kaji che aka drama alo ma drama boni eyore ha. Ke boni alo afi go be ni afi goda. Ije afine efe
Ago chame ganyame.
Amen.
Himeji nke yemeji fe ni na iposhi ebe mi banye fe nyede o manye.
Manye abra.
Mi ngba fa ko ni mi fio ke ina fosane. Ni ha mi jomo ni manye nka bote wolo na mi. Ino fe no ni aba aka ni lo aba wie e fe dromo ke ama mo fe. Shukule ehia ke obata shia bie no gbla no wa mansaji amni ida ke no wa history anwa momo de ba ko abaje chichi na ma eko shi aka me ko me fi amejo wa ke amba cha ke history ehia ni aketoto mo abama mi ni bi ni ja afitele ni ke na gba ho fe mo ke basabasa fe mo ba ma mi wo o ba pe e bi e ko bla no fe no mi ka je mo nke ishi e yo le ha boni afi ni ka mo fe mo nye eyin afi le king no no ba kan e blo fo ke unadulterated facts allo unadulterated historical facts of the Nungua state. We didn't know about can here. Ko ba di shie ike Bokete Lawe, a twin brother, was not the founder of Nungua. Bokete Lawe, a twin brother, was not the founder of Nungua. It appears there's ongoing debate about the office of the Gborbu Wulomo and or the role of Bokete-Lawe in Nungua. In reaction to social media writing, the descendants of Bokete-Lawe minced no words in saying that Bokete-Lawe was the founder of the Nungua state, that he was the leader of the Gardangwe group, and that he was the Shiche of the Gardangwe state. They referred MJ Field's religion and medicine of the Ga people to suggest that Bokete-Lawe was the first priest and ruler of the town, Nungua, and that was affirmed by Thomas Lai from Sanchi in the Crowther report. They also referred MJ Field's second book, written in 1940, gave the Nungua Bokete-Lawe peoples that they should organize themselves and bring the two war leaders who were bringing the trouble or fomenting trouble so that they cut their hands. In this wise, what happened was that Bokete-Lawe has magical powers in his hands. If he stretches his hand, arrows comes out of it. Likewise, so Agbobilo of La. So both towns decided that they should cut off their hands. But when So Agbobilo was being brought, the La people have tied his hands with leaves, with blood oozing. And they were holding him firmly. And when Bokete-Lawe people saw the man being held firmly with the blood oozing from his hands, they thought the Labadi people have completed their
execution.
Yes, their plan. So they also caught Bokete-Lawe, put him down, and cut his hand. Then the Labadi people left So Agbobilo and free him, not knowing it was an animal blood which was on it, not his hand cut. But according to history, Bokete-Lawe followed So Agbobilo, killed him with two Asafo Acheme, the warlords. Anyway, it is of interest to note that at that time, the Sanchi were living further east of the conflict zone at their present place of abode under their kings. Cecil Randolph again reported that their king Afotokli was forced to ask Ashite Ashabara of Tema for help. General Ashite was sent to Tema to negotiate with them, and the river Sakumo was pledged. These are all historical facts with pages. So the question is, how did Bokete-Lawe become leader when Afotokli was on the throne as king of Nungua? One can easily infer that Bokete-Lawe's settlement at Wodoku is different from Nungua, where Afotokli, his ancestors and successors had held sway from time immemorial to date. Referencing from page 45, Cecil Randolph said that Bote, the son of Bokete-Lawe, was trading at Krepi when the war broke out, and his father and people migrated to the east. Lahakotia, another son of Bokete-Lawe, who had removed to the river Sakumo with numerous refugees, called Bote back, and the present Nungua town was founded by them. That was the assertion of Cecil Randolph, which stands to be corrected. From this statement above, we knew that Bokete-Lawe did not found Nungua and did not enter the sea, but migrated to the east, probably to Nigeria, where he lived and produced offerings like Bolabi, Alabi, and others, which we can see on the Yoruba land. La Akotia and Bote could not have founded Nungua, where Afotokli and his lineage were already well established as rulers of the Sanchi state or the Nungua state. Bote and La Akotia may have joined the Nungua people and were given half of the town to settle, hence the name Ma Afa or Amanfa, which means half of the town. It is important to state that here that after Clay's kingdom, which he inherited from his predecessors, and which he had been in existence since time immemorial, and succeeded on the throne by his descendant to this present day, had never been disrupted. So it is clear that Bote and La Akotia did not found Nungua, which was already occupied and ruled by Udaikoto's people. On the claim that Boketelawe led Kadangwe to settle here on the coast and funded most of the Gan states, one cannot accept it as a valid statement. All the Gan states and the Dangwe states were funded by different individuals or leaders and have distinct governments. Writing about the Gan towns and their governments, M.J. Field said at page 1 of her book, Religion and Medicine of the Gan People, thus, each town, each owns a strip of territory stretching towards, and each has its government. Warfare with Akwamu, Ashanti, and others united the Gans or the Gan towns in one army. But the alliance was merely military, and the governments are essentially separate, meaning nobody was under anybody. All the Gans came in separately from their various directions, but because of wars, being one Gan speaking one language, when one has any problem, others come together to help. So through the wars of the Akwamu wars, the Ashanti War, the Bame War, the Tonye War, all the Gans joined hands together and fought. But after the fight, they all went back to their separate places with their separate traditions and cultures. Nobody was under anybody. The above suggests that each of the Gan states was independent and they only came together in times of war. Also, Kwame B. Dixon said at page 26 of his book, A Historical Geography of Ghana, about the Gan state, that the towns themselves are of curious confusion. The people of each one narrate that it was founded by what seems to have been a harried group of refugees fleeing easterly lands and traveling along the beach, a natural highway still carrying much traffic. The gangs appeared at different times each and consisted of few men and their children, sons and brothers, and many wives and children. That was how the Gan states came into being. This simply suggests that although they may have come from the east, they arrived at different times under different leaders. Stories of the Gan immigrants arriving abound in many local traditions, and misinformed elements within the Lawe family have brought into it to reinforce their desire to wrest the Nungua kingship from the natural rulers of the town. One Eric Bote, who claimed to be a retired journalist, also said in reply to Boy Otu's article on the Ghana web dated July 6, 2021, that he was not bothered about who came first, because that is not an issue. He went on to say, all that I have sought to do is to make the point that the issue of Gan Dangwe doesn't involve people who have openly admitted that they are Akwamus, not in secret but publicly. Field again reported at page 83 of that same book, the owner of the land was known as Shinche. The owner of the land was known as Shinche. And even when the immigrants overwhelmed him with their numbers and their power, they always gave him nominal seniority. The Lawa descendants should by now know that people are wide awake and they cannot continue to deceive us all times. The Tata Siche that don't belong to the Ga immigrants, and therefore Gborbu could not have been the Siche. And Klejo does not belong to Gborbu. Klejo belongs to the Kweshi Aborigines. And the Lawa people will do us good by stopping the propagating of lies, distortions, and manufacturing of history all over the place, since the history of Ghana have already been written. Ghana language need peace to develop. Margaret Field reports on page 124 of the social organization of the Ghana people that when the Gborbu was transferred to its present site at Nungua, the bodies were dug up and the heads placed under ramparts in Ablokojra, the meeting place of the gods in Gborbu. What is Gborbu? There were two gods known as Gborbu and Jobu. Gborbu is a female and Jobu is a male belonging to Boketelawe. They were all sighted at La. But when they were beaten and driven away from La, they brought only the stick which they used in the Gborbu to the Nungua groove. And that was how they named the place Gborbu again. One is likely to notice that the original place of the Gborbu was not Nungua. So all the noise making being made about Gborbu, Gborbu Temple, and Boketelawe is mischievous. The Lawa descendants should know that their coming to Nungua was a late development. On the claim that Boketelawe founded Woduku, Wododi, Washagba, Wakple, Wabobo, these were settlements to the southeast of the present-day villages of Bawaleshi, between Abokobi to Tashi Road and the Papao to Tashi Road. These villages, as has been mentioned, Boketelawe was permitted by New Oda and Koto, the ruler by them, to settle on the land, to check, to see if there were any enemies coming, so that you could report to the other guns. That was how he came to live at that place. Field concluded that these four villages were founded by Boketelawe, and their sites were undisputed. Page 122. These Boketelawe settlements were nowhere near present-day Nungua. They are currently in the hands of different Ghana states. That is La. Because when he was beaten and his people were driven away from La, Labade took over wherever he was living. They could therefore not have been used as the basis for Lawe people to claim to have founded Nungua. Writing about Wodoku and other settlements of Boketelawe, M.D. Field said at page 122 of Social Organization of the Ghana People, these four settlements were undoubtedly under Boketelawe, and their sites are undisputed. The other villages, also now deserted, included Pachakole, Kokonyaga, Washagba, Wapamu, Nungwadoku, and Lejokuku, but I'm uncertain of the exact positions of all of them and whether they all belong to Odai and Koto's people. At any rate, most of them belong to Odai and Koto. and most of them were near the sea. And for a time being, people had charge. Their people have charge over the Sakmo Lagoon. They used to allow Fante fishermen to come and fish, and payment was made in kind. That was Oda Nkoto's people. Apart from the above mentioned villages, Oda Nkoto himself was said to have stayed at Tabiano near Tema, Lashibi Asopochuna, and Sakumono, where some of the villages were villages of Oda Nkoto. It is clear from the information offered by MJ Field that Oda Nkoto's land were nearer the coast, whereas Bokete-Lawe settlements were mostly in the hinterland and were abandoned. It is therefore unlikely that Bokete-Lawe or his descendants founded Nungua, which was already occupied by the Sanshi or Oda Nkoto's people. Many Ghana researchers have come out with the view that one person does not make a town, and it is important to welcome people from different backgrounds to grow the town and prosper it. Also, it is well known Ghana Dangwe that Manche. It is well known Ghana adage. Also, it is a well known Ghana adage that Manche Edwa Imang, which literally means the king doesn't break up his kingdom. It is this reason that the Manchewi people, for that matter, the Nungua rulers would not talk publicly about some certain issues. But our descendants should know that they are gradually turning themselves into nation wreckers. And they are not the only people in Accra. They should let peace prevail and join hands with other clans to develop and lead Nungua to progress. The Labadi people who defeated Lawe and have custody of his severe hand do not go about making noise and displaying their hand at all times. The hand is displayed only once in a year when the Lakma priest dances in public. Finally, we want to spill the beans. Finally, we want to spill the beans for all to know that the first controversial Bokete-Lawe was a twin, Ate and Lawe of Krobo origin. They were twins, Ate and Lawe of Krobo origin. Due to their troublesome nature, they had a skirmish with the Akwapims, whereby Ate was killed, and Lawe and his family had to run for their dear lives to hide at a place later to be known as Wadokum. They were later spotted by a popular Labadi hunter warrior by the name Soa Gbobilo, who reported their stay there to the overlord of the land, Nuumo Gborbu, who, after discovering that they were Dangbe ethnicity, permitted them to settle in that province. Whenever it was time for him to have his yearly worship of his male and female gods, Jobu and Gborbu, Nuumo Gborbu organizes all Gans to go and celebrate with him or with them. And on their way going, they had a song which goes like this: Ngongo enyomin fo yawadoku wa yawayakwe. And this is how it goes about. Ngongo enyomin fo yawadoku wa yawakwe nyoyete wa yawakwe enyomin fo yawadoku wa yawakwe nyoyete wa yawakwe. And upon the host realizing their coming, they did welcome them with another song in praise of the overlord, and it also goes like this: Nyo diabla dimbaye echeng blashi. And this is how it is sung: Nyo diabla de baye cheng blashi dabla de baye cheng blashi dabla de baye cheng blashi dabla de baye cheng blashi. It was said about that. Then they said Nyo diabla de, the overlord, that but then there was nothing like blade or scissors, so the beard was so long and white, beautifully, like that of Moses and Aaron and others. it makes the man so beautiful, not handsome, beautiful. And whenever the host, that is Boketelawa and their people, saw them coming to grace the occasion, they go and meet them with that song. No that blood in by a blushing. Hence, the two festival songs usually sung during the Obeneshimo at Nungua. In the light of the foregoing, it is clear that Boketelawe did not found Nungua and was not the founder of the Gadangme state. He did not bring Prejo to Nungua, and neither was he the Shiche of Nungua or Gadangme state. His history represents one of humiliation suffered at the hands of the Labadi people, who defeated him and forced him to abandon his kingdom, his known settlement of the Waduku. In about 5 years to come, or 4 years to come, Ghana will be celebrating the 200 years of the most famous victory in their history, the Katamansu War of 1826, where the Gadangme states and their allies triumphed over the Ashanti army. It is a view that the Ghana people should come together and work for progress, for peace, to face the challenges of this era and beyond, but not stand in the middle of the journey to divide ourselves for selfish and narrow or parochial interest. The Ghana people are known to be hardy and brave, yet born peaceful. And when united, our strength shall grow and be more prosperous. Let us therefore stay focused and look into the future with hope and stop this propagation of lies. Thank you all.
You, well, Secretary, you are done. Thanks so much, our Secretary. So I'm going to more. Well, two Gandangwe, you more. It's like I can't be a gun with movement. See, what can you do? What can I do? Kaji Aleno, okay, so there could be more. Ben, you more be. We will set the ballroom for question and answers. Maximally 3 or 4
Before the pictures.
questions before the videos and the pictures comes in. One edi woblema Wulomo ni wotole Nuumo ni supa
Sopoli.
Nuumo Sopoli
Sopoli.
Nuumo Sopoli ni kawo kwe ishitamo nage Wulomo otoba ni etepe esa kona atade de wo ka wini ewo ye ko bi ishitamo unage mekenji boni sani Wulomo ase nega no ne eti Gborbu Wulomo ni ena ego eti nani awole ne ho nani show mele wo Gborbu Wulomo no amo next eje ofa ne kana ya ego no ko ko kwe infori ne ho ene wodo mamante ni mele ibano don lene ni ji wodo ni odai ayu ni ji ejo kwa okwe ise mo ni studi arwe kan eno be Wulomo akobe ni na mu chose ni gungo bokete ala bi dodi la hulele no na ke aisho duba ni moni wosale aka wo ha aka manchele ne Wulomo ko kele play nyemohi alo tbache kaji anya ego chi eliake ebito mu ese sa ke enye do do pepe ne ni mo kele shi aka ye ko ko na ifai de bu mu e so fai ni e kabe ake ene tutu de ma ene na wale manche le pe e yo e bele bo so fai ni Wulomo ofioleke ta flaje akene ni okanyo o manche ese simene o kwe e di na the father was here. And one we are here. No Wulomo, did you want to try something? I won't hang money for Wulomo. Did you no more Bokila? Did you TK? So I can let you do. I will let your boy. If we ain't the woman. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ̀ ní túmọ̀ tán bẹ́ẹ̀ ìgbà àgbẹ̀ náà wọlé bẹ́ẹ̀ ìdàmì ní ònàkẹ́ ìfẹ́ gbogbo sọ́kòlì ìsàmọ̀ ònàkà pẹ́ẹ́pẹ́ káfíńfà jẹ ìtàdéléwò kàwé ní kẹ̀kọ́ kẹ̀ ìlúfẹ́ náà síta mọ̀ ẹ̀kẹ́ pọ̀ náà nẹ̀kẹ́ ìbọ̀ ní sàmì Wulomo àyìnṣì ahà ìfọ̀ náà wọlé àná ìyàn ìtẹ̀ mẹ́nẹ̀ káwọ̀ pẹ́ wọ Wulomo. Money your will be an ni Yake, Manche, Money, you love you with Drama, Taflache, Walkway, Corner for near in your head, about. No, now get Kaka Wulomo, Oka Nutulu. Tuning, alone to the book, Okalabet, Taflache, Yamo Alo, Kakanji, gold, ornament. I can put that word you, the Aka Manche, Le, a double loss. Manche no Douglas Wulomo kadi agbe afikusu fe na debo te manche ni le gbe ti faje e ka ko de ewu e mi ba ya se ko to ma to no bu fie ko ni e so na Wulomo ke me le ba ho e o na ta na wo ine o na ke o so fo po ke he ta manche e ju aye ju Wulomo e yo ju wole Wulomo wọ yake asesewa didi asesewa no meta tijene ahun kwani tafaje afule old plate waji ene kadi manchege mam urupa ka ba wiye ko ene di mandra ife mo tije manche no ko de fe ni kama ko kwe china ta ne ona ke ne mandra mi afio aka Wulomo tapu ne ke sen ne ekuno pen e la bo no wali ifá ni ya o nana hu afi abuno mi na ayi manche eba komani mancheta do kwa Wulomo ta waje fo ni ebo ni numo ni di man Wulomo bo enye manchese shiene o na Wulomo e pe ba e lo ko fi manche Wulomo to ake e lo ko manche saka manche le smo to do le o na le tashi na tun wa tun e fe so na ke ne e ke banga ni fi mo so una lo ke da pe je manche ga ma Wulomo le tutu e ga ma yeah that's like saka fori ne be mandramo didi odurano me ebi stop le na ke anu gbogbo na 2014 no na te bunyi na ne wo je to ne di afi beni ate no wo sa ne ke be ke tin tiaba ene 2014 no na te ne me pie bro na ga bia ne ko to me ma no na do mo me ka me se ama to me be e mo le pa ye ke fu ni ni now AFL ejile ko da do man se na ba sha ajo man se na ba sha lo ke ja fere ko ni AFL o so ko fe ko ko awush ele tutu e na ka cho chi ka so musu ni e jama nye ni Gborbu bo na ni atwa atemene ni afiti ori bi na akaya ka cho de mene ke be no anye aga ka obi e bi he for ka je chi mo ke mo he for no wa ta fa che wo na no anye manche ne ona e fe ni nyamo ka ta fa che kuri je na yi ni ma bu fe ba je he so te na ba ta fa che ba nya he e so ma ke no e ne ke afio chi ona ke ni e fe be he che ene wo na me 2015 no wonane kwa wa next slide was what God Diego no one more than being any day and war no more of Wulomo. The Wulomo you money in Europe. You need a after go down. Ni enugo go ho pen. Nya gbere ho e. Shiche title boni le no shalo boni abe no shaka ma fa bi ake. Ta flat e olutumo komode bodo bo ha kan gbe ha bo de ke title shiche. So wa to o ge la ke e ba mi na ka obo. Ta ga ro ne na fi le interview ni wo ne. Aga ta flat e shiche be Nuumo Gborbu Wulomo bọ́dé ní ẹ̀bọ̀ ẹ̀ ha gàdá ń gbé fẹ́ẹ́ ha ẹ̀ nánà kà sí kyẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n náà yẹ nínú aka náà ẹ̀mí akẹ́ alóyè mu tètè pélé akẹ́ jẹ́ mọ̀ olùtúmọ̀ lóòtú ẹ̀ ha gàdá ń gbé ha ọ̀rẹ́ kẹ́ táìtì wọ́n mẹ́lẹ̀mẹ́lẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n wọ́n yẹn nù kọ́ bí nù kọ́ lọ́fíà ní di magdan ètú ni ha gàdá ń gbé òdùgbà adẹ́jẹ ètú ni ha gàdá ń gbé òdùgbà adẹ́jẹ ní kẹ́tẹ́ bá dọ̀mọ̀ náà pẹ́lẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ alo le siche le wa le siche mi siche ida ke e tuni wa de katangbe fe magna tuni lulu wo hebe ti ko me ho tuni alo ga mi na ni do mo sine ni mu ke ma tuni o to ba ha katangbe be da ka ta le aye be da ka ha bi ho no po cho ke be je le be si pusan mo ata le siche so mo fe mo ni ba bo e mo de aka e tuni ha katangbe so na ta le siche na ka ji bo ni ho ka to wo na aka na to nya ke aye ji ma won ní ọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀mí ní àtọ́lẹ̀ ṣíṣe lóò ẹ̀ mànjẹ́ ìjìbá wọn lẹ̀ pẹ́ tí mo ní èyí ẹ̀já nìkẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ dẹ́ Wulomo Gborbu ní ti pẹ́ Wulomo Gborbu ní ìjà nìkẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ dẹ́ dá lọ́wọ́ tó wọ́n pẹ̀lú mọ́ ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ tó wọ́n kẹ́ wọ́n ló ń gbọ́ ó fún wọn kẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìtọ́ ewu yẹ jẹ́ nàkà ìbẹ́ mi àgẹ́ olùtúmọ̀ lóòtú wọn kàdá nù ká àtọ́lẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ ìbẹ́ dà nítorí ó di ọ̀mànjẹ́ ìjìbá mànjẹ́ ìfòní ìnífà kẹlẹ́ Wulomo because it's a afibi they go to the Wulomo and to more me boy the home is a 2019 motor of there was a few logo to sham maybe not the church auto later elmo ni ma bike ni ko le fe akwa yo ko ni e so there was a few can be not chichi and no boy fa pen akwa do few ko na ko le ka do bo ko lo mo mo wi 2022 no wile na sheme kede kadangwe tafati be feba na vini ni oforo ke ni akaheche flow vini sa jabe kwa kwa fiu kuna kwa yumo ni ose wakacha ni wado
kenkne obada de kakasi ne tenda wodi sort ni lefi lomima wo kenkne si afi no kenkne sa mo da kasi si kolo no bato ma ni kafie ni bla mo ha no so do ba wo mati akashi wache oda ikoto eke wache bokete la we kaji iba si kolo namo banga ingani ye ni kenkne ife wake kaji obo ni kan mo to de gbo ba na no fe no yemi sino bi wa ba ji na bo game fe fa kaja Israel ne ate Egypt ye no ngomi imbe me bani Egypt bi me amehike mose me ne afoncho nsotru ese game ye ameku di kush ke goshi si wanye kushemi aton fa ni di Nilo no fo ke Nile aton Nilo fa he a hun kate he ko na ato le Congo aboje Asia River Congo na jame ayo ni ameshi Congo he na mi he jama ato jamboma na ameshi jame ke ba he ko na ato le Benin ni di Nigeria he na ato le Benin City bi ane na ameshi jame hun ke ba mango na ato le Ile Ife na ato le Ile Ife Ile Ife. That is home of love. Ka Yoruba ke Ife love Ile home. Wa jama aje na shi keba ni odai wolenchi jibeye si egboje ke nichumo ke esomone yo ke hame hiwo me bakoto wole ni oda nkoto bo o fa no ni nemba na bie mapo fa ko ma mi ke o ya ko ene halegbe alo sabla oda nkoto bo no lekenkle e batobie dani kame fe ba ni oda wole nchie le ha gama chichipon me gama chi ame yo kan ko egoji ami ya waso le ha me chipon de ka me jakusu ye gahena toja me dodokwe blema na ka chole mene kama chobwe Riviera Beach Hotel in Shona kajaja me eto law court complex na me here between jame ke custom head officer eto mi no digba ni to mi hunke ya gbe alo gbeni ja gamashi kenungwa mi njene ni oda nkoto we alo ni oda wole nchie leno egmela ma gbe na me ja ngote na ba hie na me yo osuele je manni slave trade ke jelayeli hi wodi ba choma ajala na bapa ni oda wole nchie moni succeed leko ni di ni afoto okli ababilegbe ni iha tashi nuele twonwo kanie iha mejeme no bokete lawe lomie eya wadoku le de nche ni oda wole nji alo ni oda nkoto le melegbe ni ehinjeme ko ne ka kwaje nka le no de na hinyo eko me ne ba twada fi ni gama fi ko be na huta ni wo obde ba chi jame le de nche aka bokete lawe e wako Nungua dan wadoku we yo beni la bi e si ajangote ni Nungua e ha me nso ye na me yo ne e so bokete la ko be to pe ngami le ba pa fai ko na hala e ko ne hi na e ya ne ke la ma ya yin si
e to ila kana mo ba se kan
no yo ni no wo le e ke so abogbote be we ya si alo e waji nka dibi fe ngame ka je me e bi dio alo e waji nka dibi fe ka te la kaji otela gbene anokwale ni obi maka ebwe ko tela gbene ko je la police station blemas ni chuko yeje ko ko ni chu ehin eke ya la Wulomo je ibana ke won ko ma gbe te sukun afoko he ku akache efe ya klabacha e me bi awie ahu ni la me fo he jage ame no boketela wo ndoni no wakale ba to Nungua ma ba chi ewoje ye la ne gaba eja Nungua ni ahila ne jela ne be ko question je ne no ma no dai bulenchi alo ni oda nkoto lo ni oda blade lo ni oda amralo samrai so na kan le ne ye gboje na le ba to ma ero adon
fale moni ji eno ebia ayo akashin sanshi ke amafa ni mona hano le peda akashin sanshi bie ame treasure ame lineage akashin akome o fa ne ani anokwale ni
o fa ne maka bwa ke ke dabi
ebijeleji
ke dabi eminjeleji ake sanshi bi ye momo ni nuko ni ho mama ejo akwamu atole nana ejuri de ho mama akejo gamashi ahun ka yada ni mama ni ho kente ajuna nsa adinkra kajibi ejirawa no gbeme wuji ji me ni he on ka mama de nje maja chebeke ni bi ka se Nungua ibatu o manche je bede ba ka ba se je ko ejina mo yabu do aha le heko history na for awie mo ja game so na me ka me ni bi ato secret no ma ka boy ka ba se Nungua aha le tu ye ami eja ke kusumi ye na fi ogbeye ni esa ni ana ni akaye ana kan shi wa hana mele alo amena no gbohun esa na ehin ohin ami jebe e ahin ne ka yo manche anyami yo na atole momo yishi ne kele fobi ne fobi le awole afote gbe ni kaji momo anyami o dai fo ni ba wo e na ka ke wole bona fe ni eche gba akala ja wole afote ajiri no cho afote ajin na cho ni amamese sidi ajiwehia no wo amameje akwamue amaje akwamu se sibi ye sije manche we bi bode yo le jinege
o fa madam shi ke bolu da shi ma bia ke shi kaji e ba sequential ye afieli ni ayo o fa ye ye wure no o wale akashi pele o plan fi shi ma da shi ka e ba pele ke agbenye o dura ni ye tero ni ba no wa alo tero na yo kenkre
ple joe no jino na gbabade
ala na ba
ni odai welenchi leke balaji sikule
niji monini ametozo amesarka ya apamoe
dabi onuko chichi akwamue ameji meni ame nueje akwamune ba wo ni etiye aka awo mobi ka hi ewo no wakaja ka mokweje manse ni ka onyemi yo ba fo oli aka manse nyobi ni akele to no wana wolegbe aka eche ma gbe fata yin hale shi ame ba fata ni ebada efe wo fase manchama wo fase ni no manchama ngola me ha me yeja ka obi atoni ahunu ne kama abo ebo no ni no me ngola me fata me na me kele yin shi no he wale na yo ke gbe na ha me hale ko shi jama bato ma ayede na me ba
fa me nda ka shi odurake pele teroni dunie oji kenken ko so ni afio
prejo kenkle yo ni obeneshi mo ma fa bi anoni ni jibo ketela woge we bi ye ama me noni ni akene me bani na numwe ni di ni oda wole nchi ya bi e hiwo aka game ame ka me fe ko me alo gadangwe ame ka me fe ko me no kaje she amobeni ya shimo afata ame yeke shio kagage she prejo ama me fata numwe akashi ni ohana shi obeni ya kenkle bi ko be ba shi ole si play la so ya waji fe ana ni waji na ka ba ade e ko fe ko na so apele je si ma fa gbobu pe aso ni gbobu e be pele si akekele
o fa ina de sanbimo dani okete lawe ya ba se bi e ta ke lu bla mi fa le lu mi ke o ba me no so la ke si no wa je ma waji eni ni yo mi wa na ni okete lawe ba bi
principal jama waji ni yo bi ne edwe ka uba kwe ameyabi ka mengame shi meni principal jama waji edwe ni makani mabo oshe yito chawe leji o chame ka ho hwe no chawe we bi ye ameji o data chawe bi mene ama me yo chame ame ha o hwe ya ni di manche kake ote osabu ni di war god kake ote mini abli le hu war god ni waji ni babo ade amene ni wakaja ba ya fie aso amefe amena apele ya sanshi sikaje ote amanfa gbobu pa acha aso wa bibi ni ehwe ni oje ni di che awon ke fa na awon ke kulo na awon no me abuwa me principal waji no aso amena apele ni sanshi na kana wayo oya mukweka mu amuke ni bi amehu waji bibi ka cross eye me ke ni bi black ase ke ni bi amefe ohwe ebi di ame amehu je principal di ame no aso amena apele
o fa ne ma da ka sin bobu ke bokete lawe me so te yo amete
bobu eje gbon ni bobu e won ni woji enyo bobu ke jobu bobu enu yo ni jobu enu ni wo bokete la waji bomo le wadi ndi daga wadi
yo chene edane ndu yesu ngba ni masa inside bi mo
fa na ojani gbe
blema tv
okay
inside bi mo ma bi akishi neke nutumo ni wo chele tu bi oni ho le ni ojura si woni aminta yomo kompro ni sani wakaba ni yeji wa akero ni ajo neke oluane ayo ni nasi ni wo sale bi ko ye e mo no te ba le te alo te aya ke te chebe ni gbe abi eyo ni egbe o to ine o ba ne insani mo ko ye
yo ero adon keni bi mo efi ami ake wo fe wona ke menemene magia no bi fe e badamoga ni ne wo ka wo kwe na ipo wo de ache wo we teacher fo enwe man bi enwe aka wo gawe mo e laaje gawe mo po de nche aton ye school du bandon no boy awe mo e ba futu wo we mo ni ene wo ni bi ko ka di ache ake man se we mo ko me futu wo no na cho ohina sene ye na kanjigbe himejiye abomi aya swani ye himejiye abomi situime ka ohina so ohina se ni wa corrupt gbeye na ka fe na kai agban ojura ho je ojura ni manjura mo ka e ashe afi ne ke ala agbami na afi okusumi ka fe kusu ne ke no mpe wo wai ke himeji ni egboy maja chame ni ete fe e ba mami ni esa na ke nufu ba mami inu ka le no boko to ense akere chon tuanse lo ngwa sha no na akele ya to inu ka ja ka ya fi fe agbena keke me ni egboye ababa mi ni chumo kaja ba tu ame ni e be sana drama dana ka ma ba mami man drama ne loju na corrupt le to jura de ojura ni man drama boni e ole ni
nje o yo mo ese mi e na si si mo to be ni ko bla ni yo mo ko ni ta ni ga ke si sa ya na woche ndi manche ni odaje o ke woche Gborbu ni bakupela we ni sene le ni ashe ne wana wefe ni mi she na manche eba yido iterebe ameshaka ni ko kwe plamaja no ife mo bia mo ani neke nti ni abane eje me ni bole ame lo ije cheme enyo ni shishimu no e aba
yo oyura don ke nekeni no bi ne ngbe je ni so kwa agwa no ni ji ejwe ngwa omo ko manje ke ayema mi afi e ko mi na ke nyo ma je no tun ake oni ni oyin o ba fi na yo ta ko ke biye manche ma le no ke mi bi fe no afi di nke ise di mi se no ko ni abo amana kenya ko afi le gbeja no to so ate no no nye na ka ni bo de yo le ke de shi mo nwe ake manche ita wa ke da ne no ni ji eni ehi ame ko ni ma bi fe ana shi Gborbu Wulomo ita wa de ehi ba me eni ai lele ka ya fi ake manche ko ba jala no obi ni oje fe o ga mo fe ko atashi lojino le fe mi ona shakele Nuumo we ni itawo ni no ni je no ni itawo ni ko do hanya na le bonya na le nyese eja ake ke wo bote mi wote wo se gbile ni fe mo ba ni mata ke ngwa ma che ake na ismo bi ni ma le no ni wo you wouldn't have can have into a bunch of dry man. No, it can say be a make one. She can't a boat in me, it can like show more. Ne nyebana ke mfoni ekomeje po ni na ka mi ete no ne bana wulo mo ike wo che etumi na menya ye fenye na e plama no wo kanye ko wulo mo fi ora kan wala ni mo ni drama onu ji juba yes e ga ma che mo shi ye ise no fon ye gen amesusu mo je ake amaye ma che se ye afi baba wo ne wo mi na me chogbe fe gbe no aka ba fe mi abai je na ka chewe batuma wa menye abafe mi amenye ameye ina je mo fi o
yo nche madawi akashi oje wana mekla ina ke kra sandimo 2019 nege nichumane atum ye ngwa chindomie nie ya pale akashi cheme nyo ya minche ye na ka nichumona atum ya kete ni cheme enyo beni ameka meji shile ni ameka 2019 nichumo na mina ametu 2020 te ya ba
yo fa ka o ra don ke bi mo mato ma fe no ko fa ma ha bo ye o sa ne bi mo manko be ina ka ma hi enye lo enyo ye ma ahin kokoko no o sa ne bi mo mi cha ke mi ha bo nungwa ma mo ni nye nungwa ma yi nungwa ma je ma le de yo le chichi mi yo le no je yin meji enyo ni yin ma je nungwa ma je no le yin Gborbu Wulomo ta ko ke wie je le hun pe ji Gborbu Wulomo ni yo nungwa wo Wulomo ko ko me hu chawe Wulomo je nungwa abili Wulomo je nungwa onunji osabu Wulomo je nungwa Oshwe Wulomo leji otete pon oshi atrima leji the high priest leji nungwa ma je leji oshwe wo mukwa Wulomo no ye totally Wulomo Gborbu Wulomo pa bana na ache Gborbu Wulomo ino ko fe Wulomo ni nche ofen mo ni no ko fe Wulomo fe ye nungwa leji oshwe leji nungwa ma che leji oshwe leji nungwa ma che ndo iwo ta ko ke wie no ni afi ni mi se ye lele kusu ma che le fio kusu le fio no ro ni ba ni se ne ke bona me fi ame cha mele no ni ya me ise ka me yinto ni ame yo ha me ke fi no na me ke fi o va ni yo no ju ba amele no ni yo ame yin se ka me yichi am ka me yinto ha me fi no na me ke fi shi no na afi ke ba ho afi ni o na anya afi ma che le fi ni mene amechaka me jona bo nuele yo ani bo ali no wa fo na me fi to do manya
insa mabi na because when that mean ye watche ni ndamo ni ke ha ke funi mo kwenwe wona akashi nwa manche ndi che from that black ni ita akakano ofa ye ishibani kati ekpa ka kusumna ani manche ita akana anu obefa ko nda
o ra don kama je bona manche ta pa ka mi manche ya won wonu wotara hye bi ene akenu wa fomo bi ni ji sa hye bi kenu wa traditional council 11 bi ni wotara hye abo apaka mentamo je mani manche ne ba yi no ne ebe ho ite na chore do da ko ta apaka menjogba wo yue 70 se gaba shido bi ami de che me ko me ba ta apaka mi mobo na de ba she yi no akefo ni e ba chon ni e no sabo aji e ba ta apaka mi roje ki oda fe wo le ti pe ta apaka mi tashi manche ashita konfra e ta apaka mi tema manche ni aje oninku eta apaka mi gamanche ni amugi eta apaka mi adam manche eta apaka mi ngleshi manche kojo abebi eta apaka mi nyenu je ba
asafotu abata kami ya kwe
asafotu ni abatwa ye adalu ma shipon na le
ochine
nye ba na ka dama che je le on pe ta pa kami she ta pa kami ke wo no kwa e ka no nu wa na enwe kun no ni afe ni ji drama ni afe je lo pa ji na gbe china gbe no manche eya ena ni ji mu kun e kusu krede le ato akele ji siche le bato ma e kusu krede le ato ni ka ato ne ka kusu egbe na e awon ke jo je nke ba ma e si bi yin ke nu pa ko fe ya awon onu fi duba
ke sa fo che na bla hu ya
na ka ke e wo nu pa le wo afele deba jogba
na ke man sa di ha bla lo
ni ka fe ni bi ni yo na gba ke ni bi ni ma ta wo ke fo amla lo eyin no mancha pakami tamo je mena akeji je mene akeji
ulo ko ta ba pakami ta
wura mo ya anwo etwa do manyaba
o fine na bi no ta kese o fine ye
meno se bi ni
akese ye mi bla mo mi o ha ni wona akese ni bo kete da mo ba ni o che o da ko to e ye o fine we jẹ́mẹ̀ ní ó gbọ́nà ní wọ́n kò ní wọ́n lè ṣe kótó bá kẹ́jì ìpàkóso kẹ̀kúrà náà káàkẹ́ ṣètò yẹnu wa lámọ̀ jí the original ṣètò yẹnu wa.
yo ó ìràdán obìnrin kún ẹ ṣiṣẹ́ náà yú ọ̀yẹ́ àti ọmọ níbi ṣiṣẹ́ mọ̀ nígbà tó máa lẹ́jí ṣiṣẹ́ mọ̀ nígbà tó máa lẹ́jí ṣiṣẹ́ níjì nù wá máa jẹ́ ṣìpọ̀n níjì nù wá máa jẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀nà ni nù wá àkàtọ́ lẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ mẹ́kẹ́ ẹ̀yẹn lóko epo hùn kẹ́yìn tẹ gbọ́ bókò ẹ̀mí mẹ́fẹ́ ní ìwé tó máa wí ẹ̀ amẹ́tẹ́ọ̀ yóò máa nà kọ́lá amẹ́tẹ́ọ̀ gbọ́ bókò ẹni jì gbọ́ àbí àkọ́ ẹni yọ jẹ́ kẹ́yìn bó tẹ̀ mí yẹn ó ní lè dùrọ̀ jẹ́ máa wọ́n kò yẹ jẹ́ àtọ́ lẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ kẹ́ńkẹ́lẹ́ wọn kọ́ bó tẹ gbọ́ bókò ẹ̀mí yẹn kẹ́yìn tẹ ẹ̀yán bíà káàmà agbélé àmẹ́ ẹ̀yẹn bó tẹ̀ mí yẹn kọ́yìn kẹ́yìn bó tẹ̀ mí yẹn bí àmà kẹ́ wọ́n tuntun ní yọ ó ní lè dùrọ̀ náà tá àtọ́ lẹ̀ tẹ̀ ní nàmọ́ náà lẹ́jì ṣiṣẹ́ lẹ́kọ́ wọ́n jẹ́ fẹ́ lẹ́jì nù wá máa jẹ́ nù wá kẹ́ àṣọ pèlè kẹ́jì máa wọ́n jẹ́ bá àmẹ́pá àlẹ́ kẹ́ńkẹ́lẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ kẹ́ sàbílẹ̀ kó kò mẹ́fẹ́ fata ìmáńchẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ látọ́ Gborbu Wulomo àtọ́ lẹ́ lásùn lọ kẹ́yìn ẹnu náà àṣọ pèlè Wulomo kó kò mẹ́fẹ́ àtọ́ àmẹ́fẹ́ lásùn lọ nù wá máa jẹ́ bá àtọ́ lẹ́ mẹ́ni ṣiṣẹ́ nungwa ma chepa afio mini atole siche leji midi osofo midi ohini eja ke eye manche na eye Wulomo at the same time keji ake aka na bie na afie ya she iba bote Wulomo gbeja na to mi ni ke gbenu na eta na eje kusu ke no fero mi ke ka abote imanche yeli mi no manche leji siche keje ise siche ko be Wulomo moni tuense dani atomenene ewolo na ke gazette le waka ko baani nungwa manche egbe eyemi le ewolo na le wa na egbe si money Wulomo money gbo na atomene nye kwa ke gazette na fe sije ko channel o fa ni si gba Gborbu Wulomo pa chole a chele sije ni le huele
ncho akashi ye memba mo no ha ka ke sije wọ́n
ndakani ni lẹ́jí nùwà máa jẹ́ lẹ́jí òṣù ni lẹ́ wọ́n ni nùwà máa jẹ́ lẹ́jí òṣù yẹ lẹ́jí sì jẹ́ lẹ́jí máa jẹ́ bẹ́ kẹjẹ máa jẹ́ ẹsẹ̀ mọ̀kú bẹ́dún nùwà èyíọ̀ máa jẹ́ èyíọ̀ Wulomo rọ̀jọ́ ní inú àtú na kẹ ha àbòsì jẹ́ díẹ̀ nù àkẹ́ ha àbòsì jẹ́ gàdágbé bí ẹ náà mẹ́bà hálẹ̀ sì jẹ́ ní mí ni àtú ya gàdágbé na bàálẹ̀ nìkan sì jẹ́ wọ́n kẹ́ẹ̀lá kẹ́
na kọ́ fún Wulomo
kẹ́ bí ibẹ̀ ṣe àkẹ́ bí ibà ṣe à wọ́n bí ní kẹ́ máa jọ àníbí ẹfẹ́ sáfẹ́ mi afọ ìjà kẹ́ nùwà mẹ́ pápá ẹ̀bà ń ṣe àmẹ́tẹ̀ ní àmẹ́ ń ṣe jọgbà wọ́n jẹ́ èmẹ́ níbà ní ìbájọ́ ànúwà.
ẹ̀ṣin máa bí kò sẹ̀lẹ̀ kò kọ́ ìbáyé tó mọ̀ bí àná fẹ́ kẹ́jì lọ́wọ́ mi búra mọ́ mi yẹn ṣìṣẹ́ akẹ́jì àwọn èèyàn gbọ̀gbọ̀gbọ̀ ẹ̀mí yẹn àní máa jẹ́ ìtumọ̀ ṣìṣẹ́ ne ma la ka shi da ji gwon ci no
owura don ta ke bodo ke biye nyese no ko bisani le onba ye ke ogbesin awon agbo ojewu ya afi o ba wo ne wo ne aka me manjwa ni fe mo ewo ame fe ame yi amanfa aka me chashiche ye ko me ame cha me fun ni ya bi amake me ni to na ka he ni e mi ni chije tu ha me me ni fe ame ya ka me chashiche
Yomo fe
bi ame fe me ni ba yi seke yi seke we wo no no wo wi no ka no ko ba fe mi ba te ma che etu ona ni pepepe ake amenta o ma ju ake be ke ni bi ni sa no ha me fe ono ni ame fe o
fana wa don
bi wo ra
yo wada apache e friendship wo ni mbeke asabwata na wada ma friendship wo media personnel se ba kwe o ise wada ise o tu ba if ya ke alors ce soir que on y vit mon papa bien ni osma
Gamatia fe ay mancheme na Wulome. Nungua no le manche dadi ba to manche no me Wulomo no momo o hwe Wulomo ni manche iliba ni ake Wulomo manche ili afata yengale jaka moko nyen ni le noche ebata ite wo eye manche ni Wulomo wo twi be kwa ke me ndi ohini me ndi osofo babu Wulomo pakekani abila ke be manche iyo ni iyo ohini na ni iyo osofo ene pakekani bana ni ro adon